you know what? Now that we're on that topic, right? You know, you've probably been dating for some years, and you know, you've been out there.
I'm seasoned.
Okay, now, do you see a difference in the women today versus the women 20, 30 years ago dating?
Oh my goodness, yes. Even those women that are my age that we was fucking with 20, 30 years ago act like the women of today. Look, times have changed. So much so to where relationships are just unheard of. There's a lot of more casual everything going on than it is like people locking up and getting married and all that. And no one trusts each other no more. There's an actual battle of the sexes going on right now, but it's all mental. You know, women are trying to find themselves in a lot of different ways. Their physical self, their business self. You know, they feel like they don't get as much money as we do. They on that kick. They've been on that since the 40s, since when women's lib started. You know what I'm saying? You know, at one time, women just wanted to be treated equally as a person versus the money, and then it came into that. When you give stuff, and that's why white people don't want to give blacks anything, or the powers that be. I ain't gonna say white people as a whole, because not all whites is in control of this shit. We need to stop saying that too. But white people that genuinely give it up because they know what we went through, shout out to y'all. But the whites who like say, well, you keep giving them, you gave them that, you know, next thing you know, they're gonna want that. It's true. When you give something, people are gonna want more. You know what I'm saying? It's if like you got 100% of something and someone says, man, I can get 10% of that, and you give it to them, shit, a couple years from now, they're gonna be like, can I get 20% now? You know what I'm saying? It's just, that's the maturation of things. So women have been generally asking for more and more and more and more, to the point where I think psychologically, and this is where I'm going with the trans thing. I know there's a lot of guys out there who think they're women in their mind, and they just say, fuck it, I want titties and a cooch. All right, I have no problem with that. But I think some of them got into a weird psychosis of women are so hard on men now that they just flipped and go the other side psychologically. There's a lot of weak-minded people out there. Are there trans people out there who genuinely think they're women? You goddamn right. Do they genuinely want to be treated as a woman? Yeah, you goddamn right. That shit is obvious. But I think there's some people out there who got on a psychological trip about how women are today and how rough they are and how they don't take shit. And you know what I'm saying? They make it very plain to you that they want to be in control of things. And that's not how it's supposed to be, whether y'all want to agree with this or not. The guy's supposed to lead this shit. He does. And in our nationality, being black people, economically, which turned out to be something that was also a psychological warfare tactic, was to take away black men being heads of their household. And the only way you really do that is you make them not be able to pay shit. So they ain't got jobs and stuff. And I know brothers that went through all types of school. Why do we have to go through 15 years of school just to be able to make enough money to take care of our family? Because they raised, look at the fucking cost of living today. If you go to Ralph's right now and buy 6 items, it's $42. So if you just a nigga that work on a trash truck, you gotta have a second job. And if you got a second job, that means you working 16, 20, 30 hours a day. I know there ain't such thing as 30 hours, but it's almost like that because you waking up going to another job. So you don't see your children. Yeah, you providing that money, but you don't really see your kids. And what did Dick Gregory say before he died? That's how they kill you, is they make sleep deprivate your ass. And he said, what is that shift they call when at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock when you got to go? What is that shift called? The guy said, graveyard. He said, huh? Why do you think they call it that, huh? You know how Dick Gregory's talk. And he come off abrasive, especially in his older days, because he was an old, you know, that man who'd seen a lot, been through a lot, so he was real abrasive when he answered you. If it didn't sound right to him, he'd go off on your ass. What the fuck you talking about? See, niggas don't know nothing. You know, he'd go in, because he's seen it, he know it, everything, and he's right. He put you on that graveyard shift, your ass sleep damn near half the day. Don't get no melanin because of that. You done been up all night, now you in the bed all day behind some damn shades, sun is out. You will die doing that shit. working on trucks and all that. They know this. The government knows this. Why do you think terms like they work you to death come up and shit like that? Or work you to the grave, boy. Don't let them work you to the grave. These things all started when we was in them fucking fields. You see how hot it's been in California? Go to fucking San Fernando Valley. It's been 102 average. That's what niggas used to be in with humidity. Now we in the dry heat. Imagine humidity 102. 112 really. Picking cotton.
That's very true.
That's where all those terms come from. Work you to death. You know what I'm saying? Slave driver. Shit like that. All these terms came from that era. No one, and absolutely no one of any nationality in this country can say fucking shit to us. I don't care if you see a black dude outside dirty as fuck yelling, hey, doing some weird shit. Just go, I know, and just keep walking. We've been through it here. For niggas, for there even to be a Jay-Z with the Basquiat hairdo is a fucking miracle. For there to be a Beyonce sitting next to him all bewildered at basketball games is a miracle. These niggas is super wealthy. I don't know what cracks they slipped through. I don't know who they kick it with. When you look at their Instagrams, they be chilling with some of the most magnificent people in the world by Van Goghs and all this different shit. They doing that shit for a reason. It's imagery for them to look tight and people to love them more and all that, but it's also saying, look, I'm a nigga doing this shit. I'm a nigga out here at these different places. Through slavery, we still rise. That's why whites are scared of us. That's why other nationalities love us and want to be like us. Tell me if all the niggas left, if the 17% of blacks left this country, niggas be doing the polka on MTV. Nigga, you will never see no smooth dances no more. They can't do what we do.
Now let me play the devil's advocate, right? And let me say, okay, I agree with all of that. But at this day and time, niggas is killing niggas more than.
I love you bringing that up. I'm finna go nuts. I'm finna go nuts.
More than the slave master. So my question is,
I got you.
Will it ever get back right?
Nope. That part of it will never be right. Look, you hear all about all kind of shit online, MK Ultra and all these different experiments on people's minds, the LSD, psychedelic drugs, fucking experiments back in the day. They've been mind fucking black people since slavery. You couldn't walk down a road and look at another plantation's fucking slaves unless you be killed. Because you fuck around and see somebody you know. They purposely did not let you read, and they purposely kept you away from other blacks. Thus, you group together en masse and want to fight. That was huge back then. So I'm saying to you now, the hatred that blacks have of each other is deep-rooted psychosis. There's no reason for no black person to walk outside this building and walk down the street and get mad dog by another nigga. You should be smiling at each other. We don't do that because we are deep-rooted hate. We have deep-rooted hate and envy for each other, and that comes from the fucking plantation.
Now, what about, Florida recently? I don't know if you heard about this, but Florida is adding a part of their curriculum, their education, to say that slavery or certain aspects of it
was beneficial to black people.
What do you think about that?
Well, the whole state of Florida is run by people who are trying to push a narrative without saying, fuck you, nigger. They're doing everything policy-wise and getting right up into the gate of opening the door of saying, you know what, we really down here in Florida, the whites of this population, we just don't like niggers. And we want to do everything in our power. And let me say this again, everything in our power to put together some types of policy that will affect them to maybe they'll move out of the state and it'll be a pure white state. We're going to try this. It's going to be hard, but we're going to try this. That's what it sounds like to me. Ron DeSantis, strings are being pulled, folks. I'm telling you, I've said it before, I'll say it again. There's an octopus behind that dude that you ain't gonna see. Whatever words come out that man's mouth have been already put there. Now he say it with passion because he believes in those words. You see, it's not, you can't hire a dude to be your spokesman if they don't rock with what you talking about. They won't give the real. People will see through it. They'll be like, that nigga don't believe that. But when he says it, you believe it because guess what? Ron believes that shit. He believes that rhetoric. He believes that and he wants to demean black people. He knows that they know that slavery didn't benefit us. They know that. They know absolutely that it didn't benefit us. But what they're trying to do is they're trying to do there's two people that's being fucked, two races that are being fucked, white people and black people. Now you ask yourself, well, how are white people being fucked? Look, there's white people out there who really truly want to know what the fuck happened back then. They don't know because they've suppressed it from them too. And when certain individuals, Tom Hanks, all these different people, Tom Hanks didn't even know Juneteenth happened. This is Tom Hanks we're talking about. Somebody who's in the know about a lot of things. And a lot of times people think because actors are all around the world and they're on set in Venice, then they leave. They ain't like they hanging out there, learning and I'm going to the fucking Louvre after it. No, nigga. You know what I'm saying? They're well-traveled, yes, but they be shut in. They most of the time they concentrating on a film or whatever project. So a lot of times when they hear things, they be like, what the fuck? That's how movies get born. They be like, I didn't even know this. Rosewood was born because the actor found out that these towns, these influential black towns were getting burned. And guess what? That's not even a real town. They didn't even want to put the real name of the town in there so people would know it was a real incident. Because Rosewood was not a real, it was a story like what had happened, but that town was fictitious. So they try to keep all that from you. A lot of people don't know, in Georgia, Lake Lanier, big ass lake, surrounded by white communities. There's a black town under that lake. Them people boating on corpses, fishing, catching bass on buildings. That happened in several towns back in the day. Black towns that were prospering and doing well. Before I came here today, I watched a video, and it was talking about the American medical situation and why America doesn't adopt what every other country around the world, which I've seen. I lived in Germany for 4 years, socialist style medical where everybody gets free medical. You know why? These people will vote against their own interests just so you won't be able to have medical. That meant, that bullshit they were saying about Obamacare, you could pick your own doctor, all that, it was fucking perfect. It was perfect, and it was all free. But because black people would get that medical care, they voted against it. And on the video I watched today, they've been doing that since the 1920s. They don't want you to live, man. I don't want to be morbid on here or nothing. When you hear shit like this, you know how to fucking survive. You know you got to create your own utopia. You know you got to hold up other black doctors. You got to hold up black dentists, people that look like you that don't want to see you dead. If you're a doctor and you're black, you take the Hippocratic Oath, you know damn well your ass gonna take care of somebody. You ain't gonna be a typical black person and hate this person when they walk in because they got a necklace on. You're gonna save their life. That's why I say we need to have our own things. And there's a lot of people felt like we needed to be separate, and there shouldn't have been no, when they let black kids start going to white schools. Exactly. Segregate, we should have stayed separate. That way, it would have been black towns. Go to this town, it's white, you know what I'm saying? And I guarantee you, when the white people had seen how clean the towns was, they would have been envious and jealous. And I hate to say this about a race of people, but y'all, man, y'all did that to us, and y'all doing it to us. There's certain white people out there can't stand us, and it's just a pure inbred family been telling them. They've been, you know, all of the media was sending all these damn commercials and news reports of negativity of black, and these people built that up in their head. They be having dinner talking about, boy, this black guy.
Now, let me ask you this, because I love where you're going right now.
Right.
Now, when you look at the Martin Luther Kings you brought up,
yes,
the Malcolm X's,
yes.
Now, on the flip side, you have the Betty Shabazz right beside
Come on,
Malcolm,
man.
the Coretta right beside Martin. Is the modern black woman beside and going through the same thing? Or do they even understand that this shit is still war against black men? Or are they a part of it?
I've been telling women this for the longest time, like, especially on the dating scene. I'm gonna throw the dating scene in there. If any single guys watching this video, you know what I'm talking about. If you're on a dating site, you've seen these chicks' profiles. All of them got degrees. I'll be tripping off of that. I'm like, damn, how all these women had all this time to go to fucking school and get a damn diploma? You know what I'm saying? I'm so busy trying to eat and keep these kids fed. They find ways to get that shit. So they already think they're ahead of you. What I try to make women understand is, especially when it comes to us, brothers, I don't know about any other nationality. Maybe Hispanics deal with this, but Hispanics will fuck around and go do whatever they got to do to make some bread. They'll go start selling melons or some shit. I don't know. But in regards to us, they keep us down, bro. They don't want to hire us, and then you get hired on all these bullshit jobs, and then you go on a job, and then you have to deal with other nationalities because you black and you trying to stay there. They're trying to trip you up. It's really wild, you know what I'm saying? So women got to understand that it's been a battle going on for their affections by the country. There are two, not minorities in a woman's body. Two, female and black. So they're killing two stones. They're killing two birds with one stone when it comes to a woman. You know what I'm saying? They don't see it that way. Why do you think when chicks get Section 8, they don't let the father stay with them? If you're with him or you're married to him, you can't get Section 8. They'll say you overqualified. You got to go out there and make some money. The brother can't stay. They did that for a reason, because they knew if they let the family stay together and grow, if they got the mindset to do that, that's another thing. Our sisters and brothers, they'll get on Section 8 and get telling everybody, I only pay $200 a month. You don't even realize why you own it. You own it to go up, not stay there. You know what I'm saying? People don't get that. So that's where they get us with those things. They'll put those programs in and they know people gonna hover instead of trying to ascend. Especially if the girl by herself and she got 3 kids. 9 times out of 10, she gonna probably just take the stamps every month and pay the little money and just keep pushing, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I see what Republicans be trying to say about shit like that, but see, they some assholes that'll say some shit like that to try to demean us and say something fucked up about us. But all the time, Democrats and Republicans, the same people to me. You know what I'm saying? I just don't think our sisters understand that, you know, it's a battle for our soul, the men's soul. They want to keep us, you know, out their houses. And I think that's kind of changing a little bit. I see a lot of brothers just going and just handling their business. And women are like, oh, well, y'all don't want us no more. Well, you need to chill out and be more feminine and stop being so tough. You know what I'm saying? Stop twerking all the damn time. You know what I'm saying? And maybe be more ladylike and niggas that want to fuck with you. You know, the big thing right now is being a passport bro. There's a lot of brothers out there that's got cool little gigs and they like, fuck it, I'm gonna go to Thailand and all these different places and find them a wife. And them chicks is now doing videos over in them other countries like, hey, if y'all don't want them motherfuckers, we'll take them. So, you know, I think women are just like, fuck it, I'd rather be by my... And nobody wants to hear this shit no more. They've made movie titles, I can do bad by myself and all that. They made a movie about that shit. Niggas ain't trying to hear that shit no more. You know what I'm saying? Whenever you see a romantic comedy like with Morris Chestnut or somebody, and it's about a guy and he's in a relationship, he be having problems with them females. They be tripping. That's what we see every day. That's the image we have of y'all. So y'all make it very hard to meet you and be with you. There's videos of women being asked, how much does your man have to make? And these expectations are just unrealistic. So we're at an impasse when it comes to relationships. Who do you fuck thinking making $250,000 a year at 25? Who the fuck, what? What are you niggas thinking? Now chicks are starting to date older or date up in age because those guys kind of fake almost to the money they talking about. So what are you marrying, the dude or the money? You You know what I'm saying? I don't understand the way things is. Our women got to start realizing that we worthy, and they need to like start making investment in men when they down here. You know what I'm saying? And grow with them to get up there. But just like anything else, people ain't got no patience. They ain't trying to do that.